Hello and welcome to Roaming Norway. I sold my Tesla, so now I'm stuck with the BMW i3s, like you can see here. I have all my buttons back that Tesla has decided to remove. I have my stalks and the buttons for the climate and everything back here, which is quite an adjustment for me after driving a Tesla for so long. But it's nice to be back in the i3 and using the i3 as a daily driver. It is an amazing car and was way ahead of its time. It has aged quite considerably, and I would say that the charging speed is not up to date and the ride comfort is not the best either, now that Tesla has finally got some movement on their comfort side of things. For example, the Model 3 Highland drives way better than this car, specifically because this car also is the BMW i3S edition, and the S edition gives you a little bit stiffer suspension and a different wheel setup in the summer. For winter, we are running our winter tires, of course, the Nokian Hakkapeliitta R3, I think, EV tires, studless winter tires. You can't get studded winter tires for this car that are of quality, just some Chinese knockoffs. So I go for Nokian tires. Also, Nokian tires, if you're watching, I will need a new set for the next winter for this car. Anyways, what's the plan with this car? Well, it's my daily driver, so I'm going to drive it around, of course. And how can you drive this small little EV around? It got terrible range compared to modern EVs. It doesn't have the right comfort. It doesn't even have lane centering. It has something called traffic jam assist, which doesn't really work in Norway because we don't have highways. But anyways, it has adaptive cruise control, which is vision based, just like Tesla. So that's a similar thing. The problem with vision-based cruise controls, adaptive cruise controls, is that when the weather is bad, they stop working. The BMW i3S that I have here is the 2019 version. It got the big battery because when the i3 was launched, it came with a tiny battery, and then a few years later they come with a medium battery, and then they came with a large battery, the 42 kilowatt hours gross battery, and it's around 37 kilowatt hours usable, so quite a large buffer. And that helps with this car because it doesn't have a charge limit preset. You can't set to 80% daily charge. So when you are at 100%, you are really at, I don't know, around 86% battery, I think. So it's nice to not be actually fully charged all the time, of course, because of the large buffer of this car. Unfortunately, the large buffer does mean that this car doesn't have the best range in the world. It's 280 kilometers VLTP for the i3S in the configuration that this car is bought in. It actually has a pretty okay winter range because the car has a heat pump, and also this car has tiny tires for the winter. They are 155 in width. 155! Go look at the tires on your car. I can promise you they are wider than 155. In the summer we have a little bit wider tires on the rear. We have 195s on the rear and 175s on the front. The normal i3s have I think 175 millimeters all around, and 155s in the winter, just like this car. So it doesn't take that huge range loss in the winter because the range is already pretty bad, and that the tires are actually narrower in the winter, which means that we don't have the best grip in the winter. So in the winter season, I need to disable traction control or reduce traction control in this car to actually make it up the hills. I need to spin the tires up, and thankfully I have awesome winter tires from Nokian on this car. And awesome winter tires are available on this car in Norway. Proper Nordic winter tires are available on the i3, which I think is absolutely amazing. Without those, I couldn't make it anywhere in the winter. Rear-wheel drive, 184 horsepower, which is pretty nice. You get a little bit more horsepower on this i3S variant, which is always nice to have in a car like this. It's pretty light and it feels pretty snappy, I would say. So, as a daily driver, this car is not very comfortable. It lacks that smooth German finish when driving on the road. And of course, I don't really mind for a daily driver. It's fine by me to not have the best comfort all the places. But yeah, that's something people will notice, especially if you buy an i3S as your daily driver. Noise performance on the highway, as we can see here, it's not the noisiest highway right now, but it's not the best. For example, I drove the new Model Y. Check out that video if you haven't checked out that video. But that one has insane noise performance, and by that I mean lower noise in the cabin than this car. This car is absolutely noisy. What else is there to say about this car? 50 kilowatts fast charging. 50 kilowatts fast charging is slow compared to modern standards, and it's obviously artificially limited. Like all DC fast charging is artificially limited, but this one is very artificially limited. They could have made it a better charging car, in my opinion. I think they could have made it way better actually, but they decided not to, probably to preserve the battery over time. Anyways, 50 kilowatts flat on a 42 kilowatt hours battery pack is actually okay, and makes this a viable road tripper if you are okay with waiting 40 minutes at the charger instead of like 30 or 20 or 15 minutes with modern electric cars. So this is a 40-minute stop car, I would say, just to be safe. I'm not going to take this on longer trips. I think I already have a video where I drive it across a mountain pass in Norway when we got the car actually over a year ago, 1.5 years ago, I think, soon, yeah. So yeah. The odometer on this car, it has been driven 80,000 kilometers, so quite far, I would say, for a 2019 car of this type. Most of these cars don't go very far. People use them as commuters. And here you can see the problem with adaptive cruise control. It disconnected because it's vision based. It's based on the camera that we have in the top here. So that's absolutely interesting to see. Let's jump out of the car and take a look around the entire car. I'll talk a little bit about the adjustments that I've made to this car to make it better for me as a daily driver. Here it is, the BMW i3S in Imperial Blue and black, of course, because the BMW i3 has yeah, two-tone colors, really. So we don't have the blackout grille. I think that's an option as well, but we do have the blackout this thing. This can come in silver as well, which is quite interesting. I want to start with the charge port because I did some updates to the charge port. I installed this by walkaby.de, which sells this 3D printed flap for the BMW i3. And this is awesome if you are fast charging and just want to, yeah, do this really quickly. Just open it, close, and it's done, and it's finished, and it's nice. So I absolutely love this thing that I've installed. And this is mainly to protect the DC pins when AC charging, of course. But yeah, this is a copy of actually BMW's newer design. They use this design on their newer cars. But the BMW i3 never got this update, and they always got these super annoying flaps instead. But this is an awesome solution that makes living with the i3 a little bit easier. Let's take a look at the rear and the space we have here. Is this enough space for me and for my daily use case? So I have my drone here, and I have my camera, tripod here, and some shoes for the gym here. And you can see that there is enough space. But I want to show you something. I'm going to take the seats, fold them flat, and show you how much space this little car really has. Everything is manual in this car, of course, so you just have this tab that you... And take a look now how much space there is. Of course, there are much larger cars, but with this hatch opening that you can see here, in combination with folding the seats, you actually have quite a lot of storage space. And this is enough to get like a full Traeger grill inside here, because I've tried. I know that it is absolutely possible. Let's jump over to the suicide doors, because I need to show you the suicide doors of this car. So you can see here that we have these small doors that you close first, and then you close the main doors. And the main doors are actually quite large, and there is no B-pillar right here. The B-pillar is actually in the door itself, in the rear door. You have the sound system here, which is, in this case, Harman Kardon sound system. You can get it without the Harman Kardon. The Harman Kardon sound system actually sounds pretty okay in this car. Not amazing, just okay. Here you can see the exposed carbon fiber, which is super cool. This is so cool. Anyways, the rear seats. Let's talk a little bit about the rear seat. Of course, the rear seat space in this car is limited. But as you can see, there is quite a lot of space here, and there is quite a lot of space in the rear here. The seats are not very comfortable, and I would say that this 4-seater is really a 2-seater for at least long distance trips. The seats are okay, but they're a little bit uncomfortable, and yeah, just manual. But they do slide, of course, like this, so you can get a ton of legroom if you want to. So this is quite interesting. Let's move to the driver's seat. Also, the doors are frameless, so this window goes down when you open the door, and they close when you close the door. And you can see that the door kind of vibrates a little bit, because the whole door is carbon fiber and aluminium. And this can cause the window elevator to actually unhook itself, and that's a common problem on these cars. And I have fixed the window elevator in this door actually. I got it fixed. 480 bucks. Here is the rear hatch, which is manual. Also, it feels very light. It's just glass here. Everything is glass. It's quite interesting, but it gives this huge opening, which is very practical. This car is, many people say it's larger on the inside than on the outside, because it actually looks like a tiny car, but this car is not really that tiny. It's considerably larger than, for example, a Yaris or something. Toyota Yaris. So the door goes in there. You have a start switch, and we have some service notifications because we need to do the brake service and stuff like that, but no issues with the car itself. Amazing climate system, gets really hot, gets really cold in the summer, and we have a sunroof that you can open in the summer. I won't open it now because it's cold outside and rainy outside. Infotainment itself is aging, but for my daily use case it's okay. What you can do is install a OBD reader down here somewhere, and you can get live data in through CarPlay through an app called A Better Route Planner, which I like to use. The BMW i3 will be my daily driver. Do you have any questions on this car? You will get updates on this car and my life with this car. And if you're interested in what car I'm getting next, subscribe to this channel. But for now, I will enjoy my life in the BMW i3S.